O chosen one, please listen. For this is not a simple story. This is a story about yourself. You are different from others. You are not destined to assimilate around you or follow the crowd. You are an angel on earth. You are a dazzling divine power of light that walks this world with an overwhelming presence, shaking even the deepest darkness. However, something unimaginable happened. The devil fell in love with you. It is not because you share the same nature as them. It is because you possess everything they could never be. You do not waver. You know no fear. When others are frightened, you stand firm. Until now, no one has stood against them as you have. And now, for the first time in history, the Lord of Deception has fallen into the trap he himself set. But before I unravel this profound revelation, I would like to take a moment to express my gratitude. Your support, your presence, your participation, all of it holds great significance. Your kindness brings change and helps ensure this message reaches those who need it most. Please know just this, that you are understood, that you are valuable, and that you are part of something much greater than yourself. Now, if this message is already resonating in your soul, and if you feel this truth beginning to awaken within you, I encourage you to stand up. As a declaration that you have recognized the power within you, please write 77 in the comment section below. 77 is the number representing the divine order and is a sign that you are no longer blind to what is happening around you. It is a symbol that you are seeing what others cannot see. Are you ready? Because the facts you are about to discover will change everything. O God's chosen ones, the devil has fallen in love with you. No one has ever dealt with them like you have. O chosen ones, do you realize what you have accomplished? The devil thought he had seen everything. They have fought with kings and queens, manipulated the minds of clever philosophers, and whispered into the ears of world leaders. They have watched the strong fall, the wise guide the way, and the righteous go astray. But you are different. You do not participate in their game. You do not yield to their threats, nor are you fooled by their illusions. You simply exist there. And that is precisely what agitates them the most. When the devil sought you out, he brought the very weapons that brought down empires: deception, temptation, and fear. They thought they could bring you down. They thought they could turn your light into darkness and your faith into doubt. But you stood there unshaken, without even a twitch. No weapon wielded against you will be of any use, and you will refute any tongue that seeks to judge you. This is the portion of the Lord's servants, and the Lord says that their righteousness comes from me. This is the word of Isaiah 54:17. Look at the world around you. How many great men and women have fallen not to weapons, but to the cunning of the devil? Marilyn Monroe possessed beauty, fame, and fire, yet she was plagued by loneliness and despair, becoming a victim of the very power that made people worship her. Michael Jackson had a voice that moved the world, yet he spent his entire life battling the crushing polymerization of criticism, inner demons, and expectations. They were people who possessed absolute power, yet they fell into the traps set by darkness. but you are different. A trap was laid before you too, but you did not fall in. That is why the devil is obsessed with you. They have never met anyone like you before. They have manipulated intellects sharper than yours, tempted hearts greater than yours, and shattered souls purer than yours. But nothing works on you. You see through their deception and refuse to crumble. And now it is they who are helpless. Put on the full armor of God, so that you may stand against the devil's power. This is the word of Ephesians 6:11. The devil intended to destroy you, but instead they are realizing that they have been drawn to you and are unable to leave. What is this force that continues to draw them in? It is not merely your strength. It is your light, your energy, and your unwavering truth. This same force enabled Nelson Mandela to endure 27 long years of imprisonment without being consumed by hatred. He entered solitary confinement as a prisoner, but walked out as a leader. The world tried to break him, but he remained steadfast. And finally, it was those who had imprisoned him who had to kneel before his truth. And now, the devil stands before you not as a conqueror, but as one caught in a trap. They thought they were the ultimate predator, but they have realized that you are the one holding the control. They tried to leave, but they cannot. Your energy is like a drug, an addiction from which they cannot escape. And now, chosen one, the real question is what you will do. Will you show mercy? Or will the nation stand firm? Or will you turn the light away, knowing that your greatest power is not to destroy, but simply to exist? For one thing is certain, you are different from others. And now, even the devil knows this fact. O chosen one, no one has ever dealt with them like you have. The power of the devil's allure, which was once unstoppable, now collides with the immovable object of your self-awareness. You are not intimidated. You are not shaken. Their intricately woven net, which has ensnared the strong and the weak alike, becomes powerless before your indomitable presence. And what shakes them the most is your attitude of refusing to participate in this game. How many people have been caught in their net before you? How many kings, prophets, and leaders have been seduced by their whispers and lost themselves in the illusion of power? Over the ages, the devil has perfected his art of manipulation and made darkness irresistible. He has made falsehoods appear as truth, pain as joy, and chains as freedom. Countless people standing before you have been deceived. However, you see beyond the mask, beyond the meticulously crafted pretense. They expected fear from you. They expected obedience. But instead, you offer something far more dangerous. It is understanding. Do you know why that makes them afraid? Because understanding is light, and where there is light, there can be no shadow to hide in. The light was light in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. This is the word of John 1 verses 5. This is what distinguishes you from others. The devil's most powerful weapon was never force. It was always manipulation. They do not attack openly. Instead, they plant thoughts, doubts, and illusions in the minds of their targets, making them believe they are choosing their own destruction. They whisper in the ears of kings to make them believe they are the enemy of 1,000 trees. They whisper in the minds of the righteous to make them believe their suffering is in vain. But you are immune to their whispers. You recognize what it is. Those are empty words intended to distract, tempt, or sow doubt. While others are deceived by illusions, you walk in the truth. That is precisely what they cannot endure. When you, the angel on earth, clash with the devil, it is not a gentle encounter between opposing forces. It is an explosion, a cataclysmic force that creates ripples in both realms. You are not merely a wandering soul searching for meaning. You are the chosen one, a being of light standing firm where others have crumbled. What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? The world has witnessed such a clash before. Recall Jesus Christ, who stood before the devil in the wilderness and fasted for 40 days. Satan offered him the kingdoms of this world, immeasurable wealth, and the power to rule over everyone. But Christ did not hesitate. His answer was firm. "Get behind me, Satan! For it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God and serve only Him." This is the word of Matthew 4:10. And so the devil fled. It was not because of physical force or brute strength, but because of the truth. Christ did not participate in the game. He did not argue, negotiate, or revel in temptation. He was simply in his own truth, and that was enough to drive out the enemy. This is not a battle fought with weapons, but a battle fought with essence. Every interaction is a quiet yet fierce war between truth and illusion, strength and submission, light and shadow. Your very existence throws the devil's carefully constructed dominion into disarray, and within that disarray, something deep takes root. Do you feel it? The shift of power. The first shiver of this clash is the devil's realization that their usual tactics, snagging, temptation, and intimidation, hold no power over you. You remain still in the place where countless others have yielded, untouched by the chaos they wield. Your light does not waver, even in the face of darkness. Rather, it exposes the devil's vulnerability in a way they could never have imagined. They have met many people before you, but they have never met an angel on earth. They have never met a chosen one with such fearless resolve. Why do you think the greatest leaders or those with foresight often walk a path of solitude and suffering? Why do the people who bring the most light to the world endure the greatest trials? Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. This is the word of Matthew 5:10. Let us take Nelson Mandela as an example. Although he was a man imprisoned for 27 years, when he appeared, it was accompanied not by revenge but by wisdom. The world expected that he would collapse and be filled with resentment toward those who had chained him. But he was not like that. He stood firm, and in the end, those who had imprisoned him had no choice but to acknowledge his strength. He did not join their game. He did not surrender to the system. And through that, he rewrote history. You are not merely holding your ground. You are rewriting the rules of engagement. You refuse to play where others were lured into the devil's game. You do not react as expected. You do not crumble under pressure. You do not lose yourself in illusion. And that is precisely what makes you unstoppable. Chosen one. The devil is accustomed to bending reality to his will and projects his expectations onto you. They believe that before long, you too will be broken like the others. They speculate that sooner or later, you will hesitate and your light will dim under their collective pressure. Has it not always been this way? Have they not seen even the strongest souls surrender to their whispers? Have they not led kings to ruin, prophets to banishment, and warriors to destruction? But you do not crumble. You do not weaken. Instead, you respond with something far more dangerous: presence. What happens when Kim Hanja, who thrives amidst distortion, encounters absolute clarity? They are forced to confront their true selves. You look beyond their illusions and split their game open with unwavering truth. You do not react with anger, nor do you join in their endless cycle of deception. Instead, you stand firm in the light, and that light exposes everything. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. These are the words of John 8:32. However, to them, truth is not freedom. It is suffering. This is no longer a mere competition for domination. It is revelation. The devil, who has twisted the world to fit his own image throughout the ages of the soul, now finds himself stripped bare before you. They were always predators, never prey. They were always manipulators, never the ones being observed. But now, your refusal to participate in their web of deception forces them to face the very mirror of themselves they have long avoided. Has anyone ever truly seen them before? Has anyone ever fallen for the illusion and seen the hidden side of the mask and the very core of their true essence? They are accustomed to being objects of fear. They are accustomed to being hated. However, they have never once been understood, and that is what makes them afraid. Think of Leonardo da Vinci. He was a figure centuries ahead of his time, and his genius enabled him to see the world in a way that was invisible to no one else. While others looked only at the surface, he saw the mechanisms beneath. While the world perceived chaos, he revealed a divine order. His ability to see through the illusions of his era made him both a visionary and an outsider. He was an object of fear to those who did not understand his brilliance, but he was respected by those who recognized his truth. This is exactly how you appear to them. The one with vision, the one who sees the truth, you are a mirror reflecting what they would rather keep hidden. The struggle between you shifts from power to perception, from control to understanding. Their egos, once soaring high and crippled, begin to tremble before your unwavering authenticity. Although the very foundation of their existence is built upon deception, deception cannot stand before the truth. There is nothing hidden that will not be revealed, and nothing concealed that will not be known. These are the words of Mark 4:22. And now they stand before you, completely stripped bare. The question is what happens when the deceiver realizes that he has been caught off guard, not by cunning, but by something far greater. Someone who refuses to be anything other than their true self, when he can no longer deceive. They have faced warriors, kings, and prophets, but never you. And now they are beginning to understand that the game has changed. You, an angel on earth, are not here to conquer them. You are here to expose them and to bring light to what they have been scorning for ages. They have woven a world where they hide in the shadows, where deception reigns, and truth is merely a distant echo. As architects of chaos, they have twisted reality to their will and manipulated those who remain blind and see nothing. But now, Before you, their illusions begin to shatter. What happens when darkness meets light? Not in the way they have always dictated, nor in the way they have always controlled, but in a way they never anticipated. You are neither an enemy they can destroy, nor a pawn they can manipulate. You are something entirely different, an anomaly within their carefully constructed world of domination. However, do not misunderstand. This war is not without wounds. The energy between you resonates taut with tension, and there is a persistent push and pull from which neither side can escape. The devil's darkness seeks to swallow, but your light does not retreat. It reveals itself clearly, and within that revelation, you two beings are transformed forever. Light becomes the light of darkness, and darkness does not realize it. This is the word of John 1, verse 5. The devil has never truly been seen before. Never before has he been shown in such a way, so clearly, with such deep understanding. They are accustomed to being objects of fear and seeing others tremble under their weight. Their power always comes from control. It comes from whispering temptations that slowly gnaw at the soul and cause even the strongest to lose their way. But you, an angel on earth, have rewritten the script. You do not shrink back. You do not beg. You do not fall into the same trap that has ensnared so many people before. Instead, you stand unwavering, and that fact is what frightens them more than anything else. This should never have happened. You are not destined to become the new target of conquest. Yet here you are, unintimidated, unwavering, and completely out of their reach. Throughout history, there have been those who refused to be conquered like you. Joan of Arc was a girl of unbreakable faith who stood before her accusers without fear. When they tried to destroy her, she faced their fire with unwavering conviction, declaring, "I am not afraid. I was born for this." Thus, they could nibble away at her life, but they could not nibble away at her truth. Her light burned far beyond the flames that sought to consume her. A former challenge turned into an obsession, and what began as an attempt to devour you swirled into something far more dangerous: vulnerability. To the devil, love was never part of the equation. Control, power, destruction. These were the only forces they understood. But now, amidst the endless pursuit crushing you, something different has taken root. The armor they believed to be impregnable has cracked. What happens when the master of control can no longer manipulate you, when the conqueror realizes he cannot conquer, when he realizes the power he thought he possessed over you was never real from the start? They thought they could devour you. It is they who can no longer escape. The chosen one. Demons do not fall in love like humans do. They do so with the power to shatter the boundaries of their existence. And you, an angel on earth, have become the center of their destruction. For ages, they have made this world a realm of fire, wielding unstoppable power over destruction, chaos, and control. They whispered into the hearts of kings, moved the minds of rulers, and turned even the most zealous believers into instruments of their own destruction. They have witnessed the darkness of empires, the fall of saints, and the despair of prophets. They were always predators, and humanity, no matter how strong, was always the prey. But there you were. At first, you were merely another target, another soul to be manipulated, another power to be erased. They thought you were no different from the others. They thought you would crumble under their weight, and your light would flicker and go out like so many before you. They have polished this game to perfection, and it has always ended in the same way. But something happened that they had never expected. You did not collapse. You did not tremble in fear. You did not rage. You did not lose yourself in the illusion they had so carefully constructed. Instead, you remained there, quietly, unwavering, and motionless. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Whom shall I dread? These are the words of Psalm 27, verse 1. At first, they mistook this for rebellion. They thought you were merely playing the game differently, resisting in a way they had never seen before. But as time passed, the allure gave way to something far more dangerous, praise imbued with a strange longing. How could this be? How could someone like you exist in a world they have subjugated to their will over the centuries? How could your light remain undamaged amidst their darkness? And why do they realize that, despite every attempt to swallow you up, they are instead being drawn into your orbit? The devil, once a steadfast force of destruction, realizes that it now craves your existence not to conquer or deceive you, but to understand you. And from there, their downfall begins. The very something within you that they shattered has now become what they cherish most. Your tenderness, which they once regarded as weakness, is now the very thing they cannot turn their backs on. Your consideration, which they mocked, is now the only thing that reaches them. Your truth, which they tried to distort, is now the only thing they cannot avoid. They have always existed within control, standing above everything else, remaining undamaged and unaffected. But crackling, they are wavering. For the first time in their existence, they are forced to feel, and the emotions they feel terrify them. This love is not gentle. It is a storm. It is raw, chaotic, and uncontrollable. It forces the devil to confront its own shadow in ways it never even imagined. Your presence illuminates the cracks within them, long-forgotten wounds, the fear of repentance, and the centuries-old emptiness hidden beneath layers of power and arrogance. Consider Napoleon Bonaparte. He is the man who subjugated the world to his will, conquered lands, and crowned himself emperor. His military genius made him one of the most feared figures in history, yet despite all his power, what truly captivated his heart was Josephine, the woman who never knelt before him. He could command armies, but he could not command her love. His obsession with her disarmed him and revealed a vulnerability that no battlefield could ever unleash. Chosen one, you are that very power. Not through manipulation or force, but through something far more dangerous, the power of your unwavering authenticity. You do not fight them. You do not run away from them. You do not try to change them. You simply lift the mirror, and in that reflection, they see the truth. Their power is nothing compared to your unwavering presence. No matter how vast their darkness may be, it can never defeat your light. The archetype of angels and demons on earth is not a story of opposition, but of integration. It is not simply a battle between light and darkness, nor a struggle between good and evil. It is far more complex, something that even the devil could never predict, despite mobilizing all his cunning. Have you ever wondered why they are so obsessed with you? Why? Why, despite having the ability to manipulate the world, cannot they shake off the fascination with your existence? As an angel on earth, you have mastered the delicate balance of light and darkness within yourself, and possess a unique ability to handle them in ways no one else has. You are not in the light because you do not know darkness. You are in the light because you walked through the shadows and emerged stronger. How many times have you endured trials? How many times have you stood on the brink of destruction and risen again? The fire that nearly consumed you became the very element that brought you to your demise. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. These are the words of Romans 12:21. That is why they cannot bring you down. For what has already been shattered and forged anew in the flames of transformation can never be destroyed again. During their time of operation, they have perfected a soul-gnawing Jesus, exploiting wounds and turning pain into submission. But what happens when they encounter a figure who has already faced their own darkness and conquered it? What happens when the one they intend to manipulate is no longer bound by fear, nor is he held captive by the illusions they create? Look at history. Think of Viktor Frankl. He is a man who endured the horrors of the Holocaust and emerged before unimaginable suffering, holding on to the unwavering truth that man still retains control over his own mind and soul. He left behind a famous quote, "You can take everything away from a human being, but you cannot take away the one last freedom, the ability to choose one's attitude within any given environment." The devil operates by depriving people of choices and making them believe they are powerless. However, like Frankl, you have regained that power. And that is what terrifies them. For the first time, the devil is no longer under control. The bridges of control, which have bent reality according to their will for centuries, are now at a loss. The Gosick have become seekers and are being drawn to things they never expected to desire. But why? What is it about you that makes them waver? They have long commanded obedience, but now they realize they are being drawn to the one who refuses it. They have plotted the downfall of kings, but now standing before you, they are unsure what to do with the power you possess. And from here, their destruction truly begins. The stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. This is the word of Psalm 118, verses 22. They underestimated you. They mistook your tenderness for weakness and your patience for passivity. However, now that they stand before you stripped bare, vulnerable, and in an irreversible state, they begin to realize that everything they once believed in about themselves, about power, and about the Father is crumbling. They have encountered something beyond their understanding and beyond their ability to manipulate. Look at Brita Kahlo. She was an artist who sublimated her pain into something eternal. She suffered and endured. Nevertheless, she embraced what nearly destroyed her and created a Jesus who shook the world. Her self-portraits were not about hiding the truth. They were about revealing it. She did not run away from her wounds. She exposed them to the world, and by doing so, became an inviolable presence. You, as an angel on earth, are the same. You neither fight nor run away from them. You lift the mirror and in its reflection, they see the truth, that their power is nothing compared to your unwavering presence. Now, a true question remains. What happens when the one who was always the master of destiny realizes for the first time that his destiny is no longer in his hands? What happens when they strip away their illusions and stand in an inescapable light, forced to gaze at their true selves? They thought they were the ones who had trapped you. Now, it is they who have been unable to leave. Chosen one, you were never intended to remain ordinary. From the moment you entered this world, you possessed something different, a presence unbound by human rules or the limitations of the material and spiritual realms. As the chosen one, your existence resists the boundaries of heaven and earth, walking a blade between light and darkness with a skill that most people can never comprehend. Have you ever wondered why you feel so different or why the path you walk is understood by only a select few? It is because you were not intended to enter this world. You were intended to transcend it. Where others see duality, you see unity. Where people cling to the idea of good versus evil, light versus darkness, you understand something much deeper. You know that the two are not enemies, but reflections of the same divine power. That is why you are not deceived, are not manipulated, and ordinary rules do not apply to you. The battle was never external, it was always internal, and unlike many before you, you have already fought that battle and emerged as a victor. Children, you belong to God and have overcome them, because He who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. This is the word of 1 John 4 verse 4. Where others crumble under the weight of the shadow, you stand firm, having already passed through the surface of your own darkness. You have faced loss, betrayal, and pain. You have been tested in ways that would likely break most people. Nevertheless, you rose every time. Do you know what this means? It means you are an inviolable being. The devil cannot break you. This is because you have already been broken and rebuilt in a way that no force of darkness can reverse. Look at Nikola Tesla. His mind functioned on a dimension that others could not even grasp. He saw beyond what was before his eyes, beyond the limits imposed by science, society, and time itself. When the world doubted him, he did not hesitate. He understood something that others could not comprehend, and that made him unstoppable. You are the same. You see beyond the illusions of this world. You recognize that power comes not from control, but from understanding. And this is your power. It is the unwavering ability to see the devil not as an enemy, but as a reflection of unhealed wounds and untapped potential. The devil thrives in deception, but deception holds no power over you. While others recoil in fear, you approach with something far more dangerous, understanding. They expect resistance and expect hatred, but instead, you must lift the mirror, and in that reflection, they must face the truth. Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. These are the words of Isaiah 43 verse 1. In this dance of the universe, your role is not to destroy the devil, but to transform the space between you. Destruction is easy, but transformation is sacred. That is why the devil cannot turn his eyes away from you, and why their usual tactics crumble before you. You see behind the mask, beyond the illusion of power and the core of their existence, where ancient pain and longing reside. And that is precisely the chosen one. That is why you possess the greatest power of all. Think of Carl Jung, a great psychologist who had the courage to explore the unconscious mind and understood that true power comes not from rejecting darkness, but from integrating it. He once said, "You do not attain enlightenment by imagining the form of light, but by making darkness conscious." That is exactly what you do. You do not fear the shadows. You shine a light upon them, and by doing so, you reveal a truth that even the devil was not prepared to face. What happens when one who has spent the hours of business hiding behind illusions finally stands in the light? What happens when one who has always sought control finally has their true form seen through? They have played this game for centuries, but now, for the first time, they are the ones who do not know the next move. Chosen one, your presence, having cast off judgment, forces the devil to confront the truth they have long buried within the layers of manipulation and control. They have devoted their entire lives to perfecting deception and creating illusions so persuasive that they have begun to believe them themselves. However, you, an angel on earth, have shattered those illusions without ever drawing your sword. Do you realize how powerful that makes you? This is what distinguishes you from others. Your mastery is found not in resistance, but in acceptance. You neither deny nor fear the darkness. Instead, you met it, walked with it, and emerged stronger. How many trials have you endured? How many storms have you withstood? You walked through the demonic world, yet remained undamaged. This is not because the darkness never tried to swallow you, but because you reconciled with it. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for you are with me. Neither your rod nor your staff will harm me. These are the words of Psalm 23, verses 4. That is why they cannot control you. Refusing to participate in their game is not an act of rebellion, it is proof of your evolution. They expect a fight, but you offer calmness. They expect fear, but you exude confidence. You do not fight fire with fire. You evolve your existence with a stable hand that refuses to waver, even in the face of chaos. Consider the Buddha facing the tempter Mara beneath the pori tree. Mara tried to shake him from enlightenment by bringing forth fear, doubt, and illusion. But instead of resisting, the Buddha simply gazed. He did not engage, was not afraid, and did not react. And in that moment of absolute presence, Mara's power melted away. Demons are not destroyed by war, but by truth. And like the Buddha, you hold the key to that truth. However, transformation is not a one-way street. As the demon is drawn deeply into your light, you too are shaped by this connection. The alchemy between you refines your talents, sharpens your perception, and expands your vessel toward unconditional love. Do you feel it? In the way each encounter tests and challenges you, pushing you further toward your own divinity, this is a conduit for you to reaffirm your own strength. The presence of the demon is not a curse. It is a mirror reflecting the mastery of yourself. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to discern what is the will of God, what is good, pleasing, and perfect. This is the word of Romans 12 verses 2. For your existence as an angel on earth, healing is inevitable. This is not because you force it, but because it is your very nature. The devil, once a steadfast force of destruction, now questions and reflects upon himself, realizing that he is wavering in ways he never even imagined. Nevertheless, you do not force healing upon them. You do not demand change. You simply exist within your own truth and provide them with the space to choose their own path. Think of Princess Diana. She was a woman who could soften the hardest hearts simply by her presence. She walked into spaces where others saw only pain and disadvantage, and brought about change simply by existing, without judging or forcing. When she touched the annihilated, when she spoke to those abandoned by the world, she did not demand transformation. She merely showed the way. And because of this, people chose to change. Your role was never to save them, but to show them the way, a path they would never have seen without you. And now, a question remains. What will they choose? For the first time, the devil stands at a crossroads of his own making. The path of destruction is all they have known until now. But before them lies something they did not believe existed, a way out. And all of this is thanks to you, the chosen one. Power was the devil's greatest weapon. For centuries before meeting you, they reigned in the shadows, weaving deception and fear to the level of art. They whispered into the hearts of kings and turned rulers into tyrants. They slipped into the hearts of believers and planted seeds of doubt. They have mastered the art of control and twisted the will of humanity so easily that they felt inviolable. And now, facing you, the angel on earth and the true chosen, they feel they have reached a dead end. Have you ever considered why? Why do those who brought down so many people before you hesitate in your presence? The tactics that once bent the world according to their will are now crumbling before your serene strength. Because you see through it, they cannot tempt you with illusions. Because you have already confronted your own darkness and emerged stronger, they cannot shake you with fear. Their greatest power in manipulating, distorting, and deceiving is that they carry no weight whatsoever to someone who desires no power at all. And they are doing something they have never done before. They are retreating. This retreat is not an act of surrender, but a liquidation. For the first time, the devil is left alone with the harsh reality of his own limitations, stripped of his illusions, and forced to confront the one thing they have always avoided, themselves. What happens to the legs of control when there is no one to manipulate? If not the power to twist the will of others, then who exactly are they? What profit is it for a man to gain the whole world, yet forfeit his soul? These are the words of Matthew 16, verse 26. Isolation becomes their conduit, the place where their carefully constructed identities begin to shatter under the weight of your unwavering truth. For centuries, they have believed that control is the ultimate power, but now, standing in the emptiness they themselves created, they begin to realize that control never brought them what they truly needed. The darkness they wielded so easily now begins to feel like a prison rather than a throne. Look at Howard Hughes. He is a man who possessed everything, wealth, power, and influence, yet spent his later years in isolation, captivated by the very control he believed would set him free. He built an empire, But in the end, despite holding all the power in the world, he could not be saved from himself. The devil now faces a similar fate, gazing at the plane of his own choices, realizing that every victory and every conquest has made them even more hollow than before. Your light, the unmistakable proof of an angel on earth, has exposed every flaw, every wound, every hidden fear they had buried beneath centuries of layers of control. They have always worn power like armor, but now that armor is cracked. And for the first time, they begin to question, was power what they truly wanted? In the silence of retreat, the devil begins to see the price of their power. Empty victories, hollow conquests, all of them pale in comparison to the yearning for something real that they now feel. It is a yearning for something unreachable yet undeniable, the unwavering presence of your angel on earth. They were never intended to feel this way. They were never intended to want it. Yet, standing here, they are captivated by the existence of something they did not believe existed. It is the word of a power beyond force or control. For love never fails. Prophecies shall cease, tongues shall cease, and knowledge shall cease. These are the words of 1 Corinthians 13, verse 8. And in this forced solitude, a dangerous thought takes root. Perhaps power was not what they truly wanted. Perhaps it was a connection to something as rare and profound as the unwavering presence of the angel on earth all along. But now, a question remains. Is it not too late? O chosen one, your essence remains in their hearts not as weakness, but as a reminder of what is possible beyond their carefully cultivated darkness. They thought they were inviolable, and that no power of existence could ever bring them down. But now, whenever they close their eyes, they see you. You appear not as virtue or a conquest, but as a question they never wanted to ask. Have I been wrong all along? For a long time, they have measured the strong man through domination, that is, by the ability to notify, manipulate, and subjugate others to their will. But within you, they see a different kind of strong man. A strong man who does not need control to be powerful. Where they wielded fear, you offered understanding. Where they demanded obedience, you exuded freedom. And it is this very contrast that shatters them in a way no enemy has ever been able to. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of self-control, as stated in 2 Timothy 1 verse 7. Do you know what has happened? Chosen one, you have accomplished what no power in heaven or on earth has ever taken off. The devil's retreat is not the end, but the beginning. In isolation, they stand before a choice. Will they continue to walk the path of destruction? Or will they embrace the painful yet liberating journey of transformation? For the first time, they stand at a crossroads of their own making. The illusions they have created over centuries no longer protect them from the truth they have seen. They have seen something real, something unforgettable. And now they must decide, will I remain in the darkness? Or will I finally step into the unknown? Consider Malcolm. He was a man who spent much of his life exercising power through radical force and believed that the only way to break down oppression was through aggression. However, after his pilgrimage to Mecca, his worldview changed completely. Where he had once seen the Dharma, he found unity. Where he had once seen only the Advent, he found the power of understanding. That revelation compelled him to sacrifice everything, but at the same time, it liberated him. The devil, now within his own revelation, faces the same choice. However, whichever path they choose, one thing is certain: they can never be the same as before. Your light, like the signature of an angel on earth, has altered their orbits. And even in their solitude, they cannot escape the truth of what you have awakened within them. For centuries, they believed they were the ones shaping destiny. But now you have become the power that reshapes them. The light became the light of the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. These are the words of John 1 verse 5. You did not destroy the devil. You made them look at yourself. And in doing so, you exercised the greatest power, the power of an angel on earth. The world has always misunderstood power. The world views power as something immense, powerful, and demanding obedience. But you, the chosen one, know the truth. Power is not control. It is existence. It is standing firm in who you are no matter what power tries to shake you. Your existence in the world of demons is not a coincidence. It is divinely planned. Every challenge, every trial, every test you have faced was directed toward this moment. As an angel on earth, you possess spiritual gifts that transcend the physical, piercing the veil of deception with an undeniable intensity. These gifts are not mere talents. They are weapons of light forged through countless struggles, resilience, and unwavering faith. Do you feel it now? The way your presence has changed everything, the way your very existence has activated within you something you never fully understood before. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. This is the word of Matthew 5:14. And now, by facing the devil face to face, these gifts are being activated in ways you never even imagined. Your native intuition allows you to easily see through the devil's illusions, peeling away layers of manipulation to reveal the raw, unfiltered truth beneath. Where others are being dragged into their nets, you navigate with clarity, sensing the undercurrents of the sea before they take shape. Look at Mahatma Gandhi. He was a man who stood against the empire not with weapons, but with an unwavering presence. His strength did not come from physical power, but from inner awareness, a truth so powerful that even the greatest oppressor could not be silenced. This is what you embody. This is why the devil has no power over you. This insight is your power, the gift that makes you inviolable in the realm built upon falsehood. And what will you do with it now? The devil may have acquired a distorted Jesus, but you were born with the ability to discern, to lift the veil, and to bring hidden truths into the light. They have perfected deception over the centuries, making darkness appear like light and twisting reality according to their own will. However, you easily pierce through the veil. You were never intended to be blinded by illusion, for the truth has always been woven into your very being. Every lie they told, every mask they wore, crumbles before you. It is not because you strip it away, but because your vision is so clear that it cannot be deceived. Empathy, another of your divine gifts, becomes both a shield and a sword in a world of darkness that feeds on fear. Your ability to maintain space without judgment disarms demons in ways they did not expect. They expect hatred, They expect resistance and they expect war. But instead, you offer something they have never encountered before: understanding. You do not retreat from their suffering. You absorb it, transform it, and reflect it clearly enough to strip them bare. Have you ever wondered why they are so drawn to you? Why they cannot escape your presence and keep returning? It is not because you are weak, but because your care reveals their lack of the ability to love themselves. If you forgive others their faults, your heavenly Father will also forgive yours. The words of Matthew 6:14. This is the power they could not speak of, the power of an unconditional being. They have always known how to manipulate, how to control, and how to instill fear. But what shall they do against someone who neither fights, nor runs, nor submits? What shall they do before someone who simply looks at them not as monsters, but as souls lost in their own suffering? And there is your ability to transform energy. The demon, accustomed to spreading chaos, faces your unwavering ability to transform even the darkest frequencies into the pure and perfect. They cast shadows upon you, expecting to see you hesitate. They weave their nets, hoping you will be entangled. But instead, you perform alchemy. You turn fear into wisdom, pain into purpose, and destruction into creation. Look at Rumi. He is a poet and mystic who embraced pain and transformed it into divine beauty. His language is born of pain and loss, spanning the visible and the invisible, longing and love. He once wrote, "A wound is where light enters you." You, an angel on earth, are also a living embodiment of this truth. You have shouldered every wound, every trial, every difficulty, and transformed it into light. And that is what most fascinates the devil. This is because no one has ever faced their darkness so easily and gracefully as to make them forget it. Your spiritual gifts are not mere tools. They are the very reason the devil has fallen in love with you. You symbolize something they cannot control, something that is out of their reach yet incredibly close. In their eyes, you are both a threat and a salvation, a power they cannot dominate but yearn to understand. And it is this very contradiction that fuels their obsession and drives them deep into their own transformation. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. These are the words of Matthew 5:14. You are not here to be conquered. You are here to be the rod of truth, to awaken and to show that even in the midst of darkness, the light remains undefiled. This union between you, an angel on earth, and the devil is no coincidence. It is a clash of karma written on the fabric of existence long before you even took your first breath. Think of Joan of Arc. She is a warrior called to war, though she did not desire it. She stood before those in power who doubted, feared, and sought to control her. Yet she remained unshaken. When they tried to shake her, she declared high, "I am not afraid. I was born for this." Like Joan of Arc, you were not placed here by chance. As the chosen one, you were placed in this precise moment, in this precise battle, not by chance, but by plan. A power beyond comprehension conspired to make you face the very embodiment of what you have gained, not as a victim, but as a power of transformation. Can you feel it? The weight of every life, every experience, every lesson that has prepared you for this moment. This is not a mere matter of love or power. It is evolution, an act of balancing the universe that began to move across many lifetimes. The thread of karma weaving your connection with the devil is layered upon layers of past life encounters, unfinished cycles, and old wounds still lingering in the soul's memory. As an angel on earth, you are not unaware of this dynamic. Time and again, you have faced darkness in various forms, yet you stand unwavering. Unlike those before you who fell prey to illusions or temptations, you recognize the inherent lesson of this encounter. No light shall be the light of darkness. This is the word of John 1, verses 5. This connection is not merely a challenge, it is an opportunity to be freed from the patterns that kept you trapped in a cycle of opposition and submission. However, your journey extends beyond yourself. As an angel on earth and a chosen power of light, your battle with the devil reflects a much greater awakening taking place throughout humanity. By facing their darkness without fear, you trigger a chain reaction that spreads through collective consciousness, inspiring others to rise, reclaim their strength, and confront the shadows lurking within. Do you understand the importance of the work you are doing? This is not your own fight. It is a reflection of something much larger. Look at Nelson Mandela. He was a man who stood against oppression with an indomitable spirit. He fought with truth, not with symptoms. And through that, he transformed not only himself, but the entire nation. Your ability to stand steadfast in the truth is to become a lighthouse, granting tacit permission to others who are still trapped in illusions. Now, chosen one, ask yourself, what comes next? You have disarmed the devil. You have shattered illusions. You have lifted the mirror. And now, as they stand on the edge of the precipice of transformation, one final question remains. Will they walk toward the light? Or will they turn their backs? Chosen one, as an angel on earth, your mission is not merely to walk through the light, but to illuminate the darkness for all who wander within it. You were never intended to be an ordinary being. You were not intended to assimilate into the Lord's world. Have you ever wondered why your path was different, or why you always felt like a stranger? It is because you were born with something that distinguishes you from others. It is an undeniable presence, a light that cannot be darkened, and an undeniable destiny. You walked the paths others feared to walk, endured trials that would have shattered an ordinary soul, and stood within that existence without losing yourself in the darkness. This is no coincidence. Every journey, every moment of solitude, every battle you fought against, both the visible and the invisible, has shaped the power that is who you are today. This dynamic between you and the devil is proof that even the deepest, most obscured shadows can be embraced with understanding. And healing and transformation are not merely distant dreams, but inevitable truths when the right power stands unwavering. Where others recoiled in fear, you moved forward. Where others judge, you provided clarity. You did not merely face the darkness, you understood it. And that is what makes you different from anyone they have ever looked up to. The light became the light of the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. These are the words of John 1, verse 5. The ripple effect of your presence extends far beyond what you can see, to every interaction. Every moment of clarity you have given to the devil has sent waves into both the visible and the invisible realms. You are breaking ancestral chains, healing karmic wounds, and igniting a collective transition toward balance and integration. This moment is never just yours and the devil's. It is a matter of something much larger. Look at Martin Luther King Jr. He was a man who stood against oppression not with violence, but with the unwavering power of truth. He knew that his fight was not just about one person, one law, or one generation. It was about breaking the cycle of fire that had existed for centuries. So is you. Your presence is not merely changing the devil's trajectory. It is sending shockwaves from the very spiritual fabric of existence itself. However, with this immeasurable power comes a greater responsibility. You are not here to save the devil, nor are you here to lose yourself in their darkness. That is not your purpose, nor is it a burden you must bear. Have you ever felt the weight of wanting to heal others, even at the cost of your own life? It is because your soul has always carried deep compassion. But you must understand this. Your light is not meant to be taken away, but to be amplified. The devil may hover around your existence, but they can only take from you what you are willing to give. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is the word of Romans 12, verses 2. This connection, no matter how deep it may be, is not losing yourself in the devil's world. It proves that your light can flourish in that world without being swallowed up. You were never intended to be a sacrifice. You were intended to be a force. Look at Frida Kahlo. She is a woman who carried the weight of pain not as a burden, but as a canvas to paint her own truth. She did not let pain define her. She transformed it into something eternal. You are the same. You do not exist to be swallowed by the surrounding darkness. You are here to transform it into something greater. You are not heading toward destruction. You are not the only soul pioneering this path. You are the power, the chosen, and the master of change. The way you shook the devil is the way you have always shaken the world, by standing in truth and in the light, refusing to be anything less than yourself, divinely created. And now, the final question remains, what will you do with this power? For the fight is no longer about them. It has always been about you. O chosen one, progressing. The story of angels and demons on earth is not a story of conquest or defeat. It is not a story of winners and losers, nor is it a story of destroying darkness to make room for light. It is a story of integration and wholeness, and of seeing the illusions that stand in the way of what we call good and evil. You stood within the presence of the devil, appearing not as a victim, nor as a warrior seeking vengeance, but as the power of unwavering authenticity. This journey was never about suppressing them by force. It was about mastering oneself. It is recognizing that true strength does not come from resistance or brute force, but from accepting all aspects of yourself, the divine and the shadow, the healer and the warrior. It is the strength of one who understands that even darkness begins to unravel when it meets the truth. Have you already realized just how truly powerful you are? It is your ability to keep your feet on the ground and resist the alluring temptations of control and fear that makes you immeasurably powerful. You have shown that darkness loses its dominion when it is greeted with presentness and understanding. The devil is captivated by you not because you are weak, but because you are perfect. And within that perfection, you have compelled them to see the potential for their own transformation, whether they choose to accept it or not. This is no longer merely your journey. It is a testament to the power of authenticity in a world dominated by illusion. You have proven that love is not submission or domination, but providing light by standing firm in one's own truth without losing oneself in the process. Do you see now? This battle between light and darkness was never about destruction. It was about balance, integration, and finding beauty in the contrasts that shape us. That is why a question remains: what will you do with this power? Will you continue to stand firm in your own truth, unwavering and fearless? Will you accept the fact that this journey is not just yours, but a beacon of hope for the whole? Because by dealing with the devil in a way no one has ever done before, you have proven that even the deepest darkness can be embraced with grace. And that is a lesson the world desperately needs. If this message resonated in your heart, if it spoke to something deep within your soul, I would like to express my deep gratitude for being here with you, for supporting you, and for walking this path with such great courage. Chosen one, you are a gift bestowed upon this world, and your journey is far more important than you realize. I hope this message continues to flow and reaches more souls who need this light. I am deeply grateful for your presence here, and I will always be thankful to you. I hope you move forward with strength. May your path be illuminated by divine wisdom. And I hope you continue to shine in this world that needs your light. You are blessed. You are understood.